Hey everybody, welcome to Wild Wednesday Live. We are back in the studio after a few weeks of us, running around the world, but we're glad you're joining us. I'm Raylene from Just Notions, and I will be your host today. Beth is actually getting ready for PIQF, so I decided maybe I better let her take a hosting week off this week so she could finish, since I don't have to worry about that since we're not going. But if you're new with this and you don't know what to do, we love to do a roll call right at the beginning of the show. As you see some of the people starting to comment with where they're from, we just like you to type in where you're watching from. It's always a lot of fun for us to see where people are watching from. And it looks like we've got a lot of people signing on. We got Rondi from Livermore, Betsy from Golden, Colorado. We've got Leandra from Milpitas, California. We got Linda from Butler, Pennsylvania. Jackie from Los Lunas, New Mexico. Lynn from Reno. So we got people signing in from all over the place, and we're so happy that you guys are with us. We know it's kind of weird that we don't do the show every week anymore, but it just got a little bit too hard with so many shows and retreats and everything that's been going on. But speaking of lots going on, I just want to kind of give you a heads up before we get into today's show. Next week, Beth will be at the PIQF show in Santa Clara, California. And that is the 13th through the 16th. Now, we will not have a show live from there like we normally do because there's no other support people from Wild Wednesday there. But I know Beth is going to try to go live during the show, just depending on how busy she is. So just, kind of stay tuned. If she does that on her Fabric Chicks page, we'll also post it here on the Wild Wednesday page so you can see what's going on if you're too far to get to the show. But if you're anywhere close, you really need to try to get there. It's a fantastic show. And then the next one for me will be Tucson, which is November 10th through the 12th, and that is one of our regular Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival shows. Beth will not be at that show, but I will, and Adele, Theresa, I think Suzanne, a lot of your favorite regular Wild Wednesday Live vendors will be there, and we will be doing the scavenger hunt at Tucson, and we'll talk more about that when it gets closer. Let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. We've got a really packed full show today, but I want to make sure I got all this stuff out of the way before we move on. I do just want to mention that if you do go to PIQF and you see Beth, if you go up to her in her booth and say, "I get wild with you on Wednesday," she does have that special Wild Wednesday gift to give to you. And but again, you got to say the 7 words properly because she's a stickler for that being exactly right. So again, write it down. I get wild with you on Wednesday. And for those of you that bought the Wild Wednesday Live pink t-shirts that we sold a while back, if you're wearing your shirt, you don't have to remember the phrase exactly. So that gives you a little bit of an out. Also, just want to remind everybody that our vendors today are going to be offering specials, but those are only good till Friday night at midnight. So you want to make sure if you see something that they're doing that you want to take advantage of their special, that you don't delay because you want to make sure you get that. And when they're on the screen doing their demo, we'll have their deal scrolling on the bottom of the screen so that you can jot it down. So it's always a good idea to have a little notepad and paper sitting next to you when you watch Wild Wednesday. And then, of course, later on in the show, we will have our secret word. And if you, again, for those of you that are new with us, we do a secret word, and that's how we do our door prize drawings. We have 5 terrific door prizes today, donated by our vendors. And later on in the show, I will give you the secret word. And to enter the drawing, all you have to do is just type that word in, just that one single word into the comments. And that gets you entered into our daily door prize drawing. Now, about an hour after the show is over, if you come back here to the Facebook page, you'll see the list of winners posted as well as what you need to do to claim your prize. But it usually takes me about an hour after the show to get that all put together and get it posted. And so today's door prizes, just so you guys know, so you can be anticipating, we have an L bag kit from Ghees. We have a 22 by 48 cutting mat from the Big Mat Rotary Cutting surface. We have a towel topper bundle from Winter Designs. We have a Wild Wednesday Live gift pack from Wild Wednesday. And we have a goodie bag of notions from Just Notions. So 5 really great prizes. All right, so I think we finally got all that housekeeping out of the way so that we can bring in our first vendor. And we're so excited to welcome back Linda from Ghees. You guys know Linda McGehee. She's been on before. You've seen her at shows, and she's got a new bag to show us. So, hey, Linda.
Hey, Raylene, it's so good to be with you. It's been a while. It's been a couple of months.
I mean, we've run into each other at a couple of shows, but it's been a while since
It's
you've been
been,
on.
yeah, July. So,
Well, I'm just going to turn it over to you because I
okay.
want you to get your whole time because I'm excited to see your new bag. So take it away.
Another thing that's wonderful is I found some new zippers, and these are outstanding. They're different than I've never seen them out on the market before. They are plastic, but they have a mirror finish to them in gold, silver, and rainbow. And there's two different styles, so you can see them a little bit better on our website. They're in the zippers category, and the zippers category is one you want to spend a little bit of time because one of our specials is it's 25% off all the zippers, and it doesn't matter which kind of zipper it is, but 25% off all the zippers that are on our website. I also got in some of the multicolored rhinestones, like everybody's been asking me for, and I actually got a double shipment, so I decided we're going to have an extra special discount on them. So you want to make sure you look them up too. These are 22 inches, and I failed to mention the mirror ones are 26 inches. So they're perfect for jackets or garments and bags too. And we have extra pulls, so you can cut them up and add more pulls to them if you want to do that. So that's one thing that's good for y'all. And we do have zipper by the yard, and you can name however much yards you want. This happens to be the rainbow on black. We have it on white, and we also have it with a rainbow color. But it's a gorgeous zipper that goes beautifully with either the gold or the silver pulls. So no matter which color you like, this is perfect for you. Now, one thing you might want to do is pull it apart and then put it back together. Let's see if I can show you this a little better. See, there's a color. You can see the distinct colors there, but if you pull it apart and put it back together with a pull slightly off, it makes the color move along better. So it's not so much of a hard, fast blue, yellow, gold type look. So we have rainbow, and we have a lot of other things. The one thing that's new about this pattern is the zipper technique, one of the zipper techniques that's in it. And with this zipper technique, you're going to use one side of the zipper, so you'll need to have a long piece, and you will put it together so that the end looks like that. You don't have a funky end that you've got to hide or make smooth any kind of way. So I'm going to see if I can't put this back on here backwards and upside down for me. And so you can see how easy it really is to put on. If you will put the slider on one side and then slide the other side in, you can zip it up. So you're not going to put this slider in, you're not going to put the slider on until after you've completed your stitching. So it'll be the finale. You won't have to sew around any kind of slider. It's a smooth finish, and then you'll put a tab on the end of it to finish it off. Now here's the small size that happens to be in the pattern. And by the way, I decided to use, Linda Winter and I are good buddies. We've even had dueling Lindas at some of the shows where we were using the same product and show what each of us did differently. But Linda has a template that's called a box template, and she designed this to make a box. Well, I took it and put this on the fold, and it ended up making a big duffel bag and also a handbag to go with it. But this new pattern uses the same tool, but this time this becomes the top of the bag. I'm going to show from the back side where the gripper is so that you can actually see better, since I have black on black here. But this is the top of the bag. You need 4 of these to complete the bag. and the bottom ends up looking like this. So it's real easy to put together. You sew two together, and then you have one seam that comes all the way around. So you're not having to insert all those points. I'm just not a good point person. So this happens to be the front of a pair of jeans. This is actually the fly zipper. Unfortunately, it's not a pocket. I just left it in the bag like it was, and it just makes a cute little finish. So this is the small version. There is a medium version, and this is recycling. So the pockets were used as they were on the jeans. So if they have a little fringe, that becomes part of your design. So these pockets were there, and all I had to do was sew the sides together and then, of course, put the zipper in. I chose to put a ripped strip of denim on the strap just to dress the webbing up a little bit. And you can see from the back side, I used a decorative thread, so it just makes it a little bit jazzier to finish. Now, it doesn't matter what you do, you can put something special on the pocket. This was done on a long arm with a ruler, and you can see the ruler work is exquisite. Isn't that fun? So it's a good place to practice with some of your ruler work, and you don't have to have a large piece of fabric. You can use it as a pocket on the bag. This is the medium size. This too is the rainbow zipper. So our kit for the L bag includes the zipper, the webbing for the strap, the pulls, everything that you need but fabric. Now, one of the versions also includes the embroidery. Now, this embroidery was done by Carol Robinson. She's a good buddy. I'm also wearing the same embroidery on my shirt. She does phenomenal embroidery. And for those of you who like cats, there is a dynamite cat on this CD. So we do have a version of the kits that includes the embroidery, that does not include the embroidery, but you still have your choice of gold or silver on the zippers. And take a look how neat the zippers are. You can use the zipper as a trim, or you could use it as a real zipper pocket. Now, the fabric that you see, over the last couple of years, it's been difficult to find a double-faced quilted fabric. And a lot of the patterns that I have used that type of fabric. You could use other fabric. You could use a tapestry or suede or anything of that to make the bag. I just happen to be working with double-faced quilted fabric. And my thought process was that as you get your new machines and you're learning to do free motion, this gives you a project to do with the fabric you created rather than just throwing it away, because by the time you cut it up, you can cut out those ugly sections or cover up a section with a pocket or something. But I found this particular fabric. It's a retro type fabric, double-faced quilted, and it's listed under the special section on our website too. So on one side are little tiny hearts, and I love hearts. And the other side, this is cassettes. So she went back to the 90s to do a take on her fabric. So this fabric, along with 3 more of the companions, are also on the website. And the things that are on special, I put on our web under specials. So if you go to shop and then specials, or follow the link that you see down below, you can get to this everything that we're seeing, with the exception of the zippers, is in that category. And the zippers has its own category. Now, you do need to use a special discount to get 25% off the zippers. And it's ZIPPS 25, all lowercase. So you will use that in the zipper category, and prices are already shown in the specials. So we've got fabric, kits, everything for you to play with on the web. Now, when I was beginning to make this bag, I was just kind of testing some of the zipper techniques. And so I have not put a strap on this, and I may just use it as a cosmetic bag. That's sort of a choice thing. I was limited on fabric, so I only have a pocket on one side. However, I did put a hanging pocket on the inside. Now, the pattern shows you how to do this pocket, and you can use it as a hanging pocket. So it's inserted up close to the zipper, or you can lower it ever so slightly and stitch around the outside 3 edges so that you will have a patch pocket plus a zipper pocket. So it's 2 pockets in one. If you decide to do the 2 pockets in one, you must apply that piece before you apply your outside pocket, because the outside pocket covers up that stitching. Now, this was designed 2 different ways. You can use it with double-faced quilted fabric and let the serging be your finished edge. If you don't like a serged edge, you could put binding on it. I don't like to do binding, so I'm happy with the serged edge. But if you wanted to fully line, you could fully line if you're using a special fabric or you just, for some reason, needed that extra support. Now, we also have foam on our website in case you want to quilt your fabric with foam. And this one was quilted with foam in it. So you can see even from the side how it really holds its shape, more so than those that were quilted with, like this is Warm and Natural. And it was also quilted on a long arm. Actually, these 3 were quilted on a long arm. This is the double-faced quilted fabric. Now, I have 2 ways that you can purchase Linda's templates. And I know Linda's going to be on a little bit later, and I don't have a clue what she's talking about, but she knows what I'm talking about. This is the medium size, which makes this size bag. And this is the fussy cut so that you can center your design where you want it on the side. So you remember you need to allow for a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you need about a 1/2 inch up at the top to put the binding on. So you're going to want your design in this area. It may not be exactly centered on this square section. It's better for the design to be slightly up rather than fall into the bottom of the bag. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your design work. I also have the bundle that has the small size. I know Linda's been doing boxes for a while, so you may have parts and pieces of this and just need to fill in, or you may need everything. But it has the small and the fussy cut, the medium and the fussy cut, and the large size. So you get everything with this bundle. So it's a choice, is the way you want to go. The pattern does have inside it paper templates for you to use. But when I'm using a paper template and a rotary cutter, I find that my paper template, every time I cut, gets a little bit smaller. So even though sizing isn't a big deal on this, you certainly don't want to whittle your bag away to nothing. You know, there is that rule with bags. You never make a bag any larger than you're willing to carry it full. And this big bag does hold a lot. And the design that's on the side of it is from the Embroidery Designs with Carol. And we do have that. Ooh, that's the alarm that it's time to be quiet. I have one other thing to show you. But this embroidery is phenomenal and trimmed with the zipper as opposed to corded piping. It's just a neat way to finish.
Linda,
Now,
you got about 5 more minutes.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I can slow down. The tool that I mentioned was actually designed by I think she was 7 years old when she had the idea. She just turned 9, but she wanted to be able to keep her scissors handy by her sewing machine. So this little tool was designed by Andy. There's you pull the clear off and it sticks to the side of your machine or maybe your cutting mat or wherever you want to keep track of your scissors. It's called a scissors holster. So let's see, do it this way. It adheres to the side of your machine, and as long as you put your scissors back in the holster, you can find them. And there's space for 2 different scissors. I have it in pink, blue, purple, red, white, but they aren't listed that way. If you order several, I'll give you one of each color. If you don't specify a color, then I'll just give you a color. But I didn't separate it into a to a drop down box. So anyway, it'll be a surprise when you get yours. One is included in the L bag version 2. I was having difficulty coming up with a name for this bag. I mean, if you've been doing bags for 40 years, and you've probably used every name there is in the book. So the first pattern, the L bag, was called the L bag because it was Linda Winter's tools, my brainstorm to make the bag. When I was doing the second one, I couldn't think of a name, so I just decided to call it the version 2. So we got the version 2 and the version 1. The version 1 was done before we had the small template, but you could use the small template and make a much smaller bag if you needed to make that for a young one or whoever. The new pattern, the version 2, does have all 3 sizes in the pattern. The version 1 only has the 2 sizes, but they all use zipper yardage. And by the way, we have some other zipper yardages on the web that are in 3-yard lengths. And I meant to bring a piece in here and I didn't do it, but the end of it has zipper tape without the coil on it, which makes it easy for you to slide a slider on. And we have a mixture of lots of different types of pulls to go on. But when you're ordering the yardage, you're not ordering a kit, but if you're ordering yardage, make sure you order the proper pull for the type of zipper you have. If you have coil, you need a coil pull. If you have plastic, then you'll need to order a pull that says plastics. So, and we sometimes call them sliders. Actually, this is the pull. The part that goes up and back is the slider. They come all together, but most people call them a pull. When they're asking me for pulls, they want these 2 pieces together. So that we just assume that's what you're talking about. We do have people that only order yardage and they're using it as corded piping because it is an economical corded piping and very sturdy. It's not going to ravel or anything. But generally speaking, if we get an order for coil and you order a plastic pull, we'll give you a call just to see what you're doing to make sure you get all your parts and pieces correct. So I imagine by now I have taken up my time, and I appreciate y'all coming to visit with us today because it's been a while since I've been on. I'm traveling and teaching now, going to Albuquerque, Mobile, and close to New Orleans, just in the month of October. So I'm planning to have a full schedule next year. If you're interested in doing things with your guild or store, then just let me know. Contact me at linda@ghees.com. And thanks so much for being with us today. And I'm looking forward to hearing the other teachers in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Linda. That was super. Hopefully you can stick around to the end of the show to answer any questions.
I will do that.
And that reminds me for everybody, because I know we have a lot of new viewers, that if you do have questions for any of our vendors, just jot them down on your little notepad, hold them till the end of the show. We're going to bring everybody back on so that we can field all those questions. If you type them in now, I may not see them. So we'll see you in a little bit, Linda.
Okay, great. Thanks, Raylene.
Okay, guys. Well, I just got to say a couple things before we move on to the next viewer. One of our regulars, who's actually a dear friend of ours, she actually works with us at all the Arizona shows. She was supposed to be on a plane this morning with her husband to Hawaii, and her flight is delayed. She's watching Wild Wednesday from the airport. So, hi, Annie. We love you. And a lot of other good friends on there. My good friend Sandy's watching. We have a few people who are late. Judy and Roxanne were both late, but they admitted it. So that's okay. We're just glad that you're here. So, anyway, we are going to move on now to our next vendor, another of your favorites, and they've been on a long time. Actually, they're one. I don't know if a lot of you guys don't realize it probably, but we've actually been doing Wild Wednesday in a couple of weeks. It will be for 2 solid years we've been doing this. But one of our very first vendors on our very first show was Theresa from the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface. And her daughter Anna is here, and she is going to do a really good presentation on just frequently asked questions. So we're going to bring Anna in right now. Hey, Anna.
Hello. Hi,
So
everyone.
glad you're back.
We're back. We're so excited. Yes, we've been reminiscing about all since the beginning of Wild Wednesdays, and
Yeah, we've come a long way since then.
We definitely have. We definitely have. How's everyone doing today?
We're doing great. We're just busy. It just seems like it never stops. Beth and I were just talking about how it's like this year has just been crazy, nonstop busy, which is a good thing. But we're getting kind of tired. So, but
Yes.
but we're glad to be busy. And I'm gonna turn it over to you because I know the ladies and gentlemen are really anxious to hear some of your tips about your mats. So take it away.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining Wild Wednesday. We are the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface. My name's Anna, and we travel around, the United States with the Quilt Craft Sewing Festival, Rusty Barn Circuit all throughout the year with our wonderful vendor friends, and we promote our cutting mats. We manufacture cutting mats and they're made in the USA, so we manufacture them here also. We're a family-owned business located here in San Diego. Our cutting mats have been on the market for 40 years. They're not a new cutting mat on the market, but we were in the garment industry for a long time, moved over to the quilting industry, and that's where we really blew up. And so our online is going great. Everything's going amazing. So I have a couple of things to talk about. We're going to have some frequently asked questions, but first I'll talk about 2 of these specials that we have, then we'll go into a demo. So the first one we have, our Christmas special. Our Christmas special is the 30 by 72 Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface, and it's going to include an 18 by 24. It's going to include that, and that's a great little cutting mat. It's a great travel size mat, and that's a $40 value. So that's available now. Our shop is scrolling down at the bottom, so you can go on there and order that Christmas special 30 by 72 that will include the 18 by 24. And then we also have a promo code. So our promo code is WILDBIGMAT2, and you're going to get 10% off any size cutting mat from our 24 by 48 and larger. So this is a great time to get yourself or someone else that you know that needs a cutting mat, a good cutting mat with that promo code and our special. And if you get that 30 by 72 for yourself, you can gift the little 18 by 24 or keep it to yourself. I won't. Keep both of them for yourself. I won't judge. So let's go into our demonstration. I know a lot of you have seen our demonstration before. It's something that we can't change. We just hit on the short, sweet, and simple of our cutting mats. So number 1, our cutting mats are firm and durable. They will not warp. They don't smell. They don't buckle. When you're cutting on our cutting mat, you get traction right away. There's nothing that grips the fabric to the mat. It's just that with our cutting mats, your blade is not sinking down into the mat and pinching the fabric down in there. Will you shut that down? Pinching the fabric down in there. So it just kind of stays. You can cut multiple material. You can, all kinds of material. You can cut, I have some wool here. I have a wool and cut with ease. You're not going to get any fiber, batting, or dust down in the mat. I have some minky here. It's always a question. What about minky? What about minky? With ease, you're going to get minky everywhere, but it's not going to be in your mat. That's the most important. You can cut silk. You can cut tulle with no problem, and none of that will get stuck down into the mat. Now, when you do get those raised cut marks, eventually, some people don't get raised cut marks for years. Some people never get raised cut marks. You're going to use our mat scraper that comes with every single cutting mat. Use it like a scraper and seal those cut marks right back down to a smooth surface so that you can put your fabric back on the same spot and get a clean, crisp cut without your rotary blade skipping. So number one question, how many layers of fabric can you cut? We say that you can cut as many as you have blade, but actually a lot more. So here I got about 4 layers. Oh, can you see? With ease. Double that up, 8 layers with ease. So you can cut multiple layers with no problem at all. So I think I'll have Jess ask the questions. My sister's going to ask me the questions. These are our frequently asked questions that we get over and over, and I think it hits all the topics. So, okay, Jessica, what is?
So how long have we been in business?
The Big Mat's been on the market for 40 years. We're the second owners now, and we are going strong.
How many sizes do we carry?
We carry 10 sizes. Our largest cutting mat is a 48 by 96, all the way down to our travel size mats. Some of our most popular size cutting mats are 40 by 72s, 36 by 60s. Our 36 by 48 is very popular. It's our standard dining room size table with 4 chairs. We have our 24 by 48 also. Our Christmas special that's available now is the 30 by 72, and that fits perfectly on the Lifetime Costco table. And that one's going to include the 18 by 24. So that's a $40 value. That's amazing. So get those orders in so we can get them to you before Christmas.
Do you make custom sizes?
So we don't make off the line custom mats. What we do is if you can't find your size cutting mat in our shop, then we'll take your specs, find the closest cutting mat to your specs, and cut it down. And so when we don't charge for custom cut downs, but when you lose your numbers, if you lose your numbers when we custom cut, we send you with an adhesive ruler so that you can replace your numbers. We have solutions for everything. And also, all of our cutting mats measurements are to the outside perimeters. So the inside grid are different dimensions, but you can see all that information in the shop.
How do we ship?
We ship rolled up in a box, rolled up all over the world. And when you get them to your cutting surface, they lay completely flat.
Will the mats warp?
They will not warp under solar heat. So of course, you cannot put them on top of a fire. You can't put them in between the fridge and the stove. They will melt. It is a type of plastic.
How long does the mat last?
Our mats last a very, very long time, and a lot of our friends can tell you because they have them. They last a long time, but you do have to take care of them. So, if you cut in the same spot over and over and over and over and over, you're gonna cut through it. But, so we say move the fabric around. Move your fabric around. Also, we say to use the OLFA blade. The 45 millimeter OLFA blade is the thinnest on the market, and it doesn't create scoring cut marks. And that's on any cutting mat. We also say loosen the blade on your rotary cutter so that it rolls freely both ways. It's closed. A tight blade creates scoring cut marks, and that's on any cutting mat. And also using the mat scraper. When you feel that those cut marks are just a little too annoying or bothering you, you take the mat scraper, use it like an ice scraper, and just seal those cut marks right back down to a smooth surface. So that, again, when you put your fabric back on the same spot, you get a clean, crisp cut without your rotary blade skipping. And also cleaning wise, I don't think we have that on there. Cleaning wise, soap and water, a little magic eraser, if it's a Sharpie or pen. We say not to scrub really hard with the magic eraser because it'll lighten the grid, but it doesn't come off completely. Just a little soap and water will do just fine.
Can you cut on the back?
Yes, you can. Only one side has a grid, but when you don't need a grid, you could turn it over and cut on the back side the same way.
Will I get fibers stuck down in the mat?
You will not get any fiber, batting, dust, minky. You'll get the minky everywhere else, but it's not going to be in the mat. You might get wool stuck down in or everywhere else, little fibers everywhere, but not in the mat.
Can I re-roll the mat for storage?
We don't recommend rolling the cutting mat for storage. Solutions to those problems is some of our customers have put little holes in the corners of their cutting mat and hang it on their wall. You can put it behind the couch, under your bed. There's a place for it, but rolling it like that, we don't recommend.
We have it on a dining room table, then we put a table cover right over it and store it there.
Yes, you just cannot put extreme heat on top of the cutting mat.
We don't. Are you in stores?
We are not in any stores like Joann's, Michael's, any craft store. We are not in there. We are in a lot of quilt shops around the United States. We have a lot of our wholesaler friends, our quilt shop owners that wholesale our cutting mats and have them available in their shop. So we've had some customers, or not customers, some people sometimes on our social media that will start say, oh, I got a Big Mat at Michael's for 50% off. No, you didn't. No, you did not get a Big Mat in one of those kind of stores. If you do have one and you didn't buy it from us and you bought it at a shop, it was a quilt shop. Is that all our questions? Well, just to recap, our Christmas special is available now. The Etsy shop is scrolling. It is the 30 by 72 Big Mat, and it will include the 18 by 24. So that's a great, great deal. That's a $40 value.
And I want you to answer Shirley. She says she needs a 24 by 180 so we can cut our 48 by 96 in 2 pieces.
Shirley, you definitely, yes, we can do that. Private message me or in Messenger. We can definitely do that. Or click on the Etsy shop. You can message me there, put your phone number in there, and we could talk about it. Yes, we can. We can definitely do that. And you can use the promo code on there also. The promo code is WILDBIGMAT2. WILDBIGMAT2, and you're going to get 10% off any size cutting mat from the 24 by 48 and up. So that's a really cool deal to start getting a little discount on there.
Until Janet will get back to you.
Janet, we definitely will get back to you, okay? Also, I'm super excited about the giveaway. Whoever wins the 24 by 48, congratulations from us. Oh, that's super exciting. And if you have a social media or anything like that, follow us on Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface. Take pictures of your cutting mat. Tell us how much you love it. Do all that. We are starting to really get into engaging on our social medias, and it's going back and forth. And Jeannie, we'll get back to you also. I can't see the comments right here like on our other social medias, but yes, we'll get back to anybody who's asking any questions. At the end of the show, we all get back together and we ask the frequently asked, or the questions that everyone's been asking. So we will get back to you. Don't worry about that. Just watch until the end of the show, and we will be able to answer any of those questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Anna. And thanks, Theresa, for answering Jenny. I was going to make sure somebody got back to her. Jenny is our regular that's just not, she needs phone number to order. So we usually always try to take good care of her.
Okay.
So we will see you at the end of the show.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. So again, guys, if you have questions for either one of our vendors so far, just jot them down on a piece of paper. We'll be bringing everybody back in after our next vendor, after we do the secret word, and you'll be able to get all of your questions answered. So, okay, well, we have one more vendor, and I'm just so excited to have her back. I mean, I get excited about everybody, but it's been a while. Linda Winter from Winter Designs has had just all kinds of stuff going on in her life. So she hasn't been able to come on, and we've really, really missed her. But we're so excited that she is back with us today to show us what she's been doing while she's been gone. So we're going to bring her in, and she's in her new studio, her fancy new studio. So with her kitty.
and I had one kitty first, and I said, she is down for the count. Then the other kitty, they're just mortal enemies.
You know what? We've got them crawling all over us here under our feet, and they're all jealous of the dog, and the dog is jealous of them. So there's all kinds of scuffing going on under my feet right now. So she's settling in.
So this is Sylvester, and today what I wanted to do was mitts, toppers, and pot holders. Oh my! But I decided out with the old, in with the new, because all of us have old towels, old this, that, all kinds of things in our kitchen, including me. I don't use any of the nice stuff that I make. I give them away, or I try to keep them for samples. So I would love for you to go to your kitchen and to rethink designing your kitchen. And I don't mean tile, I don't mean backsplash, I don't mean countertops. I just mean simple things, cheap things, fast things, easy things, but that'll give a pop. And with Christmas not that far away, it's not a bad idea to start thinking about making your Christmas stuff too. So we're going to be doing kitchen stuff today. I have a bunch of new things, and then I'm going to show you some old stuff too. But I wanted to remind you that everything I do when it comes to templates has the no slip. And if you've been with me the last couple times that I did presentations, I talked about this new stuff, tan or gray, either way. See how it grabs? If you're using acrylic, if you're using paper, if you're using whatever, you've got to work at holding that in place. With this, I'm going to place this on the fold, and I've got interfacing. And if I were doing this for real, I would be cutting 2 layers of fabric and 1 layer of the interfacing. So I would have 6 layers of fabric. I've got this on the fold, and when I go to cut, I cut and I turn. You can see how I'm not having to do any work at this. It's the template that's doing all the work for me. So that no slip material, whether it's tan or whether it's gray, either way, it's going to give us really cool stuff. All the designs that I'm going to be showing you today, pretty much are on the website. So I've got new bundles and things. You can see I've got a fabric that has a direction. If you're going to do a fabric with a direction, then I highly recommend you put a seam allowance up here. You can either take away from the template itself or add on to the template itself if you'd like to. And I've got several projects that you'll see in the pictures that have that. But what that allows you to get is direction. So you don't have to worry about choosing fabrics that don't have direction. This is a towel topper. Now it says mask keeper. So Shirley and Beth, you guys, if you followed me at Martelli, I was with Martelli for 20 years. This year I had to leave because of, as Raylene said, I've had a bunch of stuff going on, all kinds of family things. And, you know, you get to a certain age and stuff happens. So Shirley had asked me to do a mask keeper a couple years ago when we started making masks. So this was the template that I made. And she made a bunch of mask keepers for me, and I've shown them and I've got pictures of them. But I really thought, how cool is this? When Beth and Shirley, they're like, you know, pardon, what's the connected at the hip? So Beth came up with the idea of using this template to do these. So you can see here, this guy here, it's the mask keeper. I'm looking as I go here. See, the fold is at the top now. So that's the mask keeper. And how cute is that? But first, coffee. By the way, I have make and take kits too. So if you love the idea of these, which I love these towels, but first, wine. Here's some wine. And the fabric that I have for the insert has Merlot and Chardonnay and all of those things. Here's a fall one for Gather. I've got a really cute gnome one that has Let's Eat. This is another one that I have. I love the lemon, but you can see it's the same style and it's so fast and so easy. And because it's larger than the traditional towel toppers, then you don't have to do as much gathering. You can do a button, you can do Velcro, you can do snaps. This was one of the first ones that Beth made for me. I'm lucky and I know it. So all of those cute towels that you have, they just are really super easy to make with this template. So that's a towel topper. And again, I have a lot of these in kits. You can see over here, this is one of my new templates too. And Shirley made this for me out of this cute fabric. I've got gnome fabric. There's 6 different fat quarters. If y'all are into gnomes like I am, there's the wine kit. It's got a really pretty fabric that goes for the backing. But there's these, the take and makes are already cut. But then I also have some bundles where you're going to get a fat quarter of fabric. There's my gnome with the little guy that's on Thanksgiving, and it has Let's Eat on the tea towel. So there's just a bunch of things that you'll be able to find on my website. If you're not into towel toppers, which I was never into towel toppers, and all of a sudden it's like, I like doing towel toppers because they're so fun. They're so easy, and it changes up your kitchen by just a little bit. So I want to show you the traditional apple core, and you've probably done apple cores before. And when I went online, looking around at different things for this template, all the apple cores that I saw were really small. And this one still is small to me, but what I love about it is when you have smaller towels like this, you can see how lightweight this towel is. It's kind of the perfect size. Lisa made this one for me out of Fairy Frost. I had this towel and she said it was really tough. Well, that's because she did double. We're going to cut the towel in half, and then you've got enough to be able to make 2 towel toppers. So you can see with the apple core, here's the apple core. Now this one, I didn't have her finish it off because you could do Velcro here and then put a button on here. You could do some kind of decoration. You can, of course, do a button stitch. And I did get Lisa to teach me how to use my button stitch on my machine. And I don't mind doing buttonholes now. I was scared. So if y'all are like me, you know, Linda McGehee and zippers, some of you have fears of zippers. Linda McGehee makes it easy. Buttonholes, they really are easy once you learn. And there are great videos out there too. But you can do snaps, you can do buttons, you can do a snap like I did here. Just a simple snap. So that guy is super easy. Now, what I ended up doing with this one, I placed the snap a little bit higher up so you could see a little bit of this backside fabric that's there too. So the kits that I have, they'll have interfacing if you need interfacing. So we've looked at the mask keeper, which is this way for making the zippered mask keepers. But if you're doing a towel topper, we're going to use it this way. We've looked at the apple core. I want to show you, I think it's going to be my favorite, but I'm not sure yet, because I just got the templates and I haven't had a chance to make these. Look at this right here. Do you see this part here? That right there makes this. How cool is this? We're going to go that way. Can you all see coordinating fabrics? Look how cool that is when you use a different fabric. And this is the buttonhole. And this is one that Lisa made, and this is where she taught me how to use my buttonhole. Look how cool that is. A solid piece of fabric. There's a stripe and a solid piece of fabric there. And when we fold this over, now we can really coordinate with our fabric. You can have this way up here. You can have this way down here. You can have it over here. It just depends on what it is you want. So that's a towel topper template. And it's not a traditional, because the traditionals kind of have that point there. And it's okay, but sometimes those points don't look as nice. And I just think this is a really cool look. And again, with your towels, a lot of the towels that you get, they'll have the pom-pom on there. You can add the lace, you can add the trim if you like. It's totally up to you. That's the only sample that I have made of this one. Again, I just got these templates in, so they're brand new. I just got home a couple weeks ago. If you've looked at any of the videos or pictures that I posted on my studio, Philip was home for a week. He's been working in Tampa. So thank goodness, because I haven't been home, but he was home for a week. So we did a whole bunch of stuff in the studio, but I just got the templates to play. Okay, so I said the other one might be my favorite, but this one might be my favorite. Look at this, how adorable it is. So I had somebody that called and said, have you done a template for the little dress towel topper? And I'm like, what? The little, oops, let me turn my phone off. The little dress towel topper. And it was like, no. And then you start searching, and all of the ones that I found made doing the neck really difficult. You had to turn that under and fold it and press it and top stitch, add a trim to cover up the ugliness. I wanted this to be finished. So when I filmed the video on this, I'm going to show you a way, and some of you might know it, but I'm going to show you a way that that's finished, this is finished, this is finished. You could add, if you wanted to, trims all the way around here, lace, all those kinds of things. I chose not to. I just chose to do a little ribbon here because I wanted you to see the simplicity of this. But imagine with a piece of lace down here and buttons, you can add lace on the sleeves. It's totally up to you. Now, what makes this one different is that we use both the front and the back, or the top and the bottom of the towel, because we're going to do, let me get this open, we're going to do like that. You can see there's the template, and the template looks like this. There's a fold, there's a fold. And I don't know if we can zoom in, but this is an oops. If you all have been on my website before, I wrote this. Right over here, though, it says fold. When I got this, I didn't check the templates, but these are upside down, and this is on the wrong side. There's not a fold there. I did a fold here. You can do a fold. Actually, I didn't do a fold. I did a seam. Next one, I would do a fold here. And then right here, I did a fold. So this is in the wrong spot. So what does the oops mean? It means you get a great discount. So I'm still going to sell these. The template works just fine. You can fold the fabric, or do a seam as I did here. Totally up to you. But this, because the template's wrong, I'll have this written and I'll have that written for you. So it'll be there for you, so you don't have to look closely at it, but it saves you several dollars by getting this one. Again, it works just as fine. Okay, so let's go back and look at this towel. So sometimes towels have a saying on here on one side. Sometimes they'll have that same saying on the other side, but sometimes it's just a pattern. And I love the idea of that. So this would drape over, let's imagine that this is my oven, and this would drape over my door here. And you place that over it, and then you can tie this up. Now, I mentioned that somebody asked me if I did this. Well, Beth and Shirley were over one of the times that I was home. We were talking about this, and I'd asked if they made any of these. And Beth made this out of two of my templates. And she said, well, you measure this and you do this. And I said, too much work. Beth, who is an outside thinker, outside of the box thinker, she came up with a way to do one side with the Velcro right here and no towel over here. I would rather have a template that makes it easy for me rather than to have to use two templates and kind of measure and cut and all of that stuff. And here, and you can see when I open this up, she did all of this. Beth and Shirley both. Lisa, I've got several friends, customers. You guys know who you are out there. Darla is one of my favorites. This is a lot of work. I don't want to do all of that. I want to do this. If you know me, Winter Designs, it better be good and it better be fast. I want it to be super easy. You can add all the decoration. You can add a trim. You can add a lace if you want to, but it's totally up to you. Okay, so this right here was done with this. But again, you can, if you wanted to get one of my kits, I'm going to have this as a kit on my website. So this and the towel, and these are already cut for you. This is a take and make. And you can see I've already done the cutting and I already did the pressing with the interfacing on here for you. So you've got SF 101. We would sew these together. Imagine sewing that neck around. I'm going to walk you through when we get a chance to get this video filmed and show you my cheater method. So we've got finished, especially here, finished neck, because that is the part about these. I've seen them at little arts and crafts shows and they're just ugly. I'm sorry. They're just ugly to me because it just looks like it's not done so well. So I love that one, but I love that other one too. You'll have to let me know which one is your favorite. Raylene, I forgot to start my clock. So you're going to have to interrupt me and say, Linda, done. You know, get the hook across my neck. Okay.
We will.
All right. Okay, good. All right. So Martelli made an oven mitt and it was an oops. They cut one and they made it too small. And I said, well, that's adult. This is a child. But I actually like this size for me with this one. That makes this one here. And that one makes this one here. And you can see I used a much bigger seam allowance than the 1/4 inch seam allowance, but those two are there. But I saw a project that was this. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I really don't need all of that addition. So there it is. I've made this right here with my seam here. And it really is not binding. I cut 2.5 inches for my binding, but I added that on. But look at this little guy. How cute is this? I mean, I'm going to get to exactly what it is that I need. Now, this has a lot more batting and that the insole fleece, which I have on my website too. So if you don't own any of that stuff and you wanted to make these, I've got the insole fleece for you. Insole fleece and then cotton batting. We need cotton. Why? Because we're going to be touching stuff that's hot. But look how cute these are. These two sizes. When Lisa saw these the other day when she was over, she said, it's too small. And I said, no, it's the perfect size because I not only use them for the oven, but I'm using when I'm trying to press something. I don't have anything here to show you, but I stick my hand in to whatever it is, and then I'm pressing here. So that heat is on my fingers, but I'm protecting myself because I've got this. And because this is smaller, I can get into smaller projects. So I use these not just in the oven in my kitchen, but I use them at the sewing machine, at my ironing board especially. So that's a new one, and that's this little guy too. So I think that's a whole lot of fun. I have another template, and this is one that I've only gotten to do one project for. And actually, Lisa was over the other day too and did this for me as well. I can't believe out of all the templates that we've made that we didn't have a pot holder template. So this is the pot holder template. There's a line that goes across for the pocket, and you can add a hanger. You can add binding on there. It's totally up to you. You don't even have to add a pocket. But this is what that's going to make. Now, what I want you to think about is forget the kitchen for a minute. And I want you to think about a little girl or a little boy that has a stuffed animal or has their favorite doll. And this is a bed. This is a sleeping bag for them to put their favorite whatever snugly in there. So imagine that for little kids. How fun would that be? And because it has that no slip material on the back, all of the cutting that you do is going to be super fast and super easy. Imagine giving for somebody with a kitchen, you know, that's brand new or they're just in a rut. Imagine giving them a set of things done out of fabrics. That's what I have up here that Sylvester is on top of. All my red, white, apple stuff. You guys probably, if you've seen me do any presentations, and you've seen this bottle bag that I have, and the bottle bag has the ability to hold whatever. This is apple cider, but it can hold whatever it is that you want, including, you know, hot cocoa and chocolates and, you know, oils and those kinds of things too. But all of these things that I have over here, I showed these in different videos and different pictures. But my round table placemat, when I was down in South Florida, my mom and dad ate off of a round table. And I so wished that I had my template and my cutting mat and my rotary cutter, my everything there to be able to make these, because these fit on a round table so easily. I've got an apple template that you can do with a pot holder style, but you can also put the no slip material on the back. So this is a hot plate. So this guy here can hold a hot drink. Or if you're spilling drinks like I do, this can go down and it'll hold a little bit more, just to hold in place a little bit. Okay, so I'll give those back to Sylvester. All right, so my friend Beth was, when I was down in South Florida, my friend Beth was sending me pictures. Shirley was too, but this was one that I said, Beth, I don't get it. She sent me a picture of this. And it looks like that from the side. This was done for my microwave bowl cozy. She used the 10.5 inch with the curves. And this does my microwave bowls. You guys probably know me. If you know me from anything else, you probably know me from the microwave bowl cozy. So there's the rounded one. And that's a 10.5 inch. And here's my square one. The square one I now have, that needs a good pressing. See that? This guy here, the square one, it does. This is 10.5. This is 10.5, but this is 10.5. So when I was talking with Beth, like, I don't get it. She said, well, Homer and I have our different, condiments that we like to have on the table always. And this was the perfect size to hold their condiments. So salts and peppers and whatever it is. Imagine that. This is just the flat microwave bowl cozy. Cut this out, but then you're going to sew the darts together on the outside instead of cutting those away. How cool is that? And you can add a binding. Now, what's so neat about this is a 10.5, but you can make whatever size you want. And I love that she did old trucks and old cars, because that's Homer and that's Philip too. So this is one of those things that I would love to really use it, but probably not going to. All right. So those things there I've shown you. I want to remind you about the ice cream cozy. If you don't know about this, you might have seen a company that knocked off my ice cream cozy. Notice this isn't ice cream. This is perfect for in the microwave as well. There was a company that used my hands, my template, my video, my studio, and they were selling their template. I was like, what? Well, it actually worked out okay, because I got a ton of sales from it, because people bought, I'm sure, the wrong thing and said, oh my gosh, that's not at all what was shown in the video. And somehow they found me, because when you go to cut this, every cut needs to be accurate and consistent. That's what that no slip material does. And then these holes are for your stitch line, so you can stitch that fabric together. So this is a fun one to do too. All right, so this is not kitchen related. This is kitchen related. This is from my burp pad, but I had a lot of people asking about my owl taggy toys. So I had this made from my burp pad. Now I have all kinds of directions on how to make these with this template and a paper template, but I decided it was about time to make this guy here. It's not for the kitchen, but it started with this from the kitchen. So burp pads, but this guy here that's stuffed, and this guy here that's not stuffed, that flat one, they can be made from this. And I'm going to do a Halloween kit that'll have all kinds of Halloween ribbons and fabrics and all kinds of fun things too to go with that. So that's a fun one. Raylene, how are we doing on time? Am I done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. By the way, I lived with this thing for the last couple of weeks when I was sewing, the last week when I was sewing, because I can't see anymore. I don't have enough light. So I have this on my website too. All right, guys, I have all this information on the screen. It's on my Facebook page too, about my discount and coupon code and all of that stuff. So thank you guys so much. It was so great to be back here again with you all. And I hope you all have fun redoing your kitchen.
And we'll have you back on in just a few minutes, Linda, when we bring everybody back in for questions. So hang with us. All right, guys. That was terrific, as usual. All three of our people today were amazing. I'm re-inspired to get all these things done. So before we go on to question and answer, I know you guys are waiting for the door prize drawing for today, the secret word. Reminder for those of you that are new, I'm going to give you a word. You simply type it in the comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Now, the only thing is if you are watching on YouTube, you are still going to need to go to our Facebook page to see if you won, because they don't link together. And we do make sure we put all your names in, but we kind of lose the ability to get a hold of you. You're going to have to get a hold of us. So again, in about an hour after the show, I will be posting the names of the winners and tell you what you need to do to claim your prize. So real quick, before I give you the secret word, I want to remind you of today's door prizes, and all donated by our super wonderful vendors. So there is an L bag kit from Linda with Ghees, a 24 by 48 cutting mat from the Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface, a towel topper bundle from Linda at Winter Designs, a Wild Wednesday gift pack from Wild Wednesday Live, and a bag of notions from Just Notions. So 5 really great prizes. So, okay, everybody, are you ready? It's a simple word. We've done it before, but I want to keep it easy. The word today is just the word fall. All you have to do, type the word fall in the comments one time, and that will enter you into the drawing. And now, as you guys are all typing in that secret word, we're going to bring all of our vendors back in. So once you've typed that in, if you have a question for any of today's vendors, go ahead and type those into the comments and I will field those to them so we can get them answered. I do know that there were a couple for Anna earlier, but I know that Theresa was on monitoring, so I believe she got you guys taken care of. Jenny, and I don't even remember the other person, but I know I saw you that you answered her, so that's good. So again, once you type in fall, go ahead and type in your questions if you have any. Actually, we don't get a lot of questions when this group is on because they're all so thorough. But now is the time. Now, and don't worry if after the show's over you go, oh, I should have asked this or that. You can contact any of these people through their websites and they will be happy to get a hold of you and answer any of your questions. Linda is saying all of Linda's Linda, a different Linda. We have a lot of Lindas today, but Linda Van Diver is saying all of Linda's templates are great. She has great ideas for multi-uses. And yeah, you know what? We all love that. And I know it's the same goes for Linda McGehee as well, is that so much of what she does is so versatile to so many different projects. So you get so much use out of what you get from them. Let's see. We need a number for Big Mat. Jenny, they're going to get a hold of you after the show, so we'll get you taken care of. I have your phone number, Jenny, so I'm going to pass that on to them. Let's see. Very thorough. Yep, very thorough. We may not end up with any questions because you guys are so good. Oh, that's a good question, Linda, and I know the answer, but I'm going to let Anna answer it. Can I iron on my wool mat on top of the Big Mat?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
With the wool mat, yes, you can.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will tell you, just from my own experience, Linda, is dry iron. Don't steam through your mat onto your Big Mat because you might damage it that way, and you don't want to do that. But I do it on top of my mat all the time, so I know. We were just discussing this at the last show we were all together at.
Thank you, Raylene. I didn't mention the steam iron part, but.
And Linda ABC says she got all of her questions answered in you guys' presentations, so that's good. A lot of positive comments, but yeah, it was, like I said, I don't think we're going to have any questions today because you guys are just so dang good at what you do. Shirley, you can get a hold of Big Mat and talk to them about that, and maybe they can figure out what happened on that because that's very, very rare. So, Linda Winner, towel topper, group price.
Yes. So whoever the winner is, when you contact me, you'll get to pick. Do you want this one? Do you want this one? Do you want this? You get to pick. And then you get to tell me, I really want a Halloween theme, or I want a dog theme or a cat theme. And I'll send you some pictures of a couple different things. And then you'll get to pick what that kit is. So the towel topper bundle is going to be based on whoever wins, and you'll get it customized just for you. But it'll include interfacing, the fabric that you need for the front and the back, a template, and then a button, Velcro, whatever it is that you want, ribbons, that kind of thing.
And don't worry, Jenny, because we'll get you help. Jenny, for the people that don't know, Jenny doesn't do computer much, so we always help her out. She's a great customer, and she's been a real great supporter of the show. Okay, let's see. Linda McGehee, Marjorie Ann would like to see those new zippers again.
Okie dokie.
Whatever she apologized for, she said it wasn't.
They're showing a little bit better online than I was showing here. And these are, they're plastic. There's 2 different styles. And when you maybe unzip shows a little bit better. That's one of the styles. That's the one that's referred to as the square. And then this one is referred to as the C. It's like a backwards C on there.
Yeah, those
I
we
don't,
can
are
see
they
them pretty
showing up
good.
pretty
Yeah,
well?
they're actually showing up pretty well.
Okay. And
Okay, and
there's gold, silver, mirror for each of the two styles.
great. Yeah, Shirley, that would make sense. Okay, let's see. I thought, Ron, can you scroll back just a tiny bit? Because I thought there was, okay, no, we got it. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Evelyn, that's a really good question. Again, I'm going to let it, I know the answer, but I'm going to let Anna answer it. Anna, if I order a custom size mat that you cut, does she get the pieces you cut off?
Yes, we always send the extra pieces, no matter if it's a thin little looking ruler part of it, always.
Great, and your mom answered at the same time on here, so that's
Yeah.
good too. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you a real quick story on myself. I think I probably told it on here once before, but I have like 18,000 of their mats. I have them all over our warehouse where we work, where we manufacture. I have them in my sewing room. I have them everywhere. And I knew that when we were going to be moving out to this house, I would have more room and I was going to have another table and I needed another of the biggest mats. So I went ahead and picked it up from them at a show, but then it stayed rolled up for quite some time while we were moving and getting settled in. But I learned a very valuable lesson. Don't put it next to a space heater either.
Yeah.
Because when I went to open up my new mat, it was melted in one side. But fear not, we broke it apart. I cut that chunk out, and I made me a whole bunch of little mats, and then went and bought another big one. So yeah, when you don't treat them right, they may let you down. But
They're
I
not
still got lots of
bulletproof.
pieces of mat out of it.
They're
Yeah,
not bulletproof, but they will last a lot longer than any mats on the market.
exactly. And then where do I find Linda's new owl template? Eileen, go to Linda's website. Where
It's
does I?
actually it's not on the website yet.
Oh,
So give me about a half an hour to post it. That's one that I forgot to add. Thank you. Good.
okay, so it'll be on
Good
there.
comment.
Mel says not for the vendors, but when I search Wild Wednesday Live on Facebook, it says archived. I have
Yeah.
no idea that I have not had that happen with me. I can't. That's a question I can't answer for you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen. So just type in wild and you'll see a list come up and then
You
click
should
on a
see
couple.
them all. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to see which one is recent. I had that
Right.
happen too.
And Jenny, it depends on which mat it is. I know they like us. They charge you exactly what the shipping costs are. So it would depend on what mat you decide to get, but they can go over that with you when they talk to you about your order. And let's see, Tammy says she lost her sewing motivation over a year ago due to some personal issues, and this live just gave her moj back. Yay, Tammy! We're always happy to hear that. All right, guys, I don't think there's any more questions, so we're gonna sign off. I just real quick want to remind you that if you are going to PIQF in Santa Clarita, California next week, look for Beth, Fabric Chicks Creative Oasis, my co-host and the co-sponsor of Wild Wednesday Live. So we will not have a show in studio next Wednesday, but we will the following Wednesday, and Beth will be hosting after she gets back from PIQF. We have 3 terrific vendors again, so be sure you set those reminders. And again, I will be posting the winners in probably about an hour. You're going to come right back to this Wild Wednesday Live Facebook page. It'll be pinned up to the top, so as soon as you get on the page, it'll have a big colorful banner that says winner so that you can find it. Follow the instructions if you see your name on how to redeem your prize, and we'll get those in the mail to you right away. So guys, thank you first of all to our wonderful vendors and your generosity with the door prizes and for always being there when we need you guys. And we look forward to having y'all back on soon. And the rest of you guys go out and sew, and we will see you soon. Bye now.
Bye. Bye, Linda.
Bye.